Welcome to the Wait for It Seattle podcast at Seatown Sports. It is Kevin and Brian back for episode 82. Unbelievable. It's about the number of listeners we have overall between YouTube and Spotify. So that's great.
Well, I just heard that someone texted me and said the bass player of the intro music of the podcast listens to our podcast now.
So we used to have the lead singer of the Blue Scholars, but then you abruptly took his music off.
We changed it,
for your best friend, and so now he doesn't listen to our podcast or like our posts anymore. So anyway, it's episode
we make
80,
political
82.
Decisions, you know.
You did.
Shout out to Call It Mango. Great music. Anyways,
when we make the next step in our careers here, if you want to call it that, it'll be that there'll be an actual transition, and it won't just end the music abruptly and then there's some blank space before we start.
I'm sure I can learn how to do that.
Oh, I used to do it when we ran our old podcast, Kev, but that was a different time, different era.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody wants to be a volunteer engineer for us.
A producer is what they're called, I think, right?
Well, I think on the radio they have an engineer producer. You're right. Yeah. I don't want a producer. I don't want somebody telling me what to do.
Yeah,
because I want to talk about the Seahawks today. Not that they would have any other ideas, but my goodness, it took us a long time in that intro to get here. But here we are, Kev.
Here we are. Can we just take us before we get into the games? Like how awesome it is to be a Seattle sports fan right now. Both of the professional sports teams made the championship of their respective leagues this season. That's a pretty rare feat. And, for not a New York, Los Angeles, or Boston market, I think, for Seattle to pull it off.
I mean, I'm searching my brain quickly as you say that. Like, I guess LA has that right now, right? Because the Rams are playing the NFC Championship game and the Dodgers are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Has New York had that in a long, long time?
Probably not in a while.
Like the Giants and the Jets.
Have
well,
been
more so.
Yeah,
more so the Giants and the Jets have been just a train wreck for years and years and years and years. I mean, the Giants, I guess.
Yeah,
were good
and I'm sure there's a major city in the metropolitan area like so upset with us right now, but we're stuck in the Northwest. Anyways. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, we're up in the Northwest. No one cares. Well, right. We've talked about this on the podcast. It's the first time in Seattle sports history that the Mariners won the AL West and the Seahawks won the NFC West. So the Mariners got the farthest they've ever gone. Furthest they've ever gone in the history of their franchise. To what is it? What was it? 8 outs away from the World Series. Because I don't think they'd ever got to a game 7 of an ALCS, if I remember right. And the Seahawks are playing in the NFC Championship. So
here's the difference between the Mariners.
As good as,
This is the difference between the Mariners and the Seahawks. The Mariners, there was a doubt whether they were going to play in the ALCS. The Seahawks, on the other hand, I think after the first quarter, first 5 minutes, first 10 minutes, I don't know where you are on that. There was no doubt that they were going to win the game. They just looked so much better.
Yes.
On all the phases of the game. Sam Darnold, they could have rolled out anyone, honestly. They would have won. Who cares about the oblique? Honestly, the amount of that I thought about Sam Darnold's oblique, leading up to that game for like 3 days, I should have been thinking about other things instead of this grown man's
like
body
keeping your
part.
Child alive.
Children.
Yeah. Careful on that last sentence. Yes. I agree with all that. I also was nervous because I think Kyle Shanahan's really good. I think the 49ers had a sort of us against the world mentality. And there's a rivalry. I was going to say there's like sports trauma with the Niners, but not really. It's more just like when they're good, they steamroll us. Like the last time the Seahawks went to the playoffs, the Niners just trucked them. It was just ridiculous. And maybe that's a good comparison point to now. I mean, they have a fair amount of the same core that kicked our butts, and we have a totally different core with a different coach who knows how to limit Mike Shanahan. That's his dad,
Yeah,
Kyle
Kyle.
Shanahan. And Niner fans could feel all the things they want, and Niners players can say what they want. The reality is, Mike McDonald knows how to limit Shanahan.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
How many posts did you see on X and social media that said, Mike McDonald owns Kyle Shanahan? Like the similarity between Jimmy Lake owning Mike Leach's air raid. I was thinking the same thing with just the discourse after the Seahawks beat the Niners again.
how
Like
can you
2 weeks
possibly
later.
bring this back to the Huskies? It has nothing to
I
do with the
always
Huskies,
do.
Kev.
I always do.
And no one but you is thinking about Mike Leach's air raid when they were watching this game. But I
I thought Kyle
it makes
Shanahan.
sense.
I mean, listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
Last week, I was like, he's gonna figure out a way to make the game close despite whoever's
Right.
playing. Like, and
Right.
it didn't happen. They scored
Right.
6 points.
Yeah, we can get into all this. Let's start with just the basic question. Why did the Seahawks win this game?
Besides the electrical substation that's right next to the practice facility in Santa Clara, I think the Seahawks won because of the key to the game that I said, the fast start. Within a minute, the first, it was 17-0. Like, that's such a huge hole
In the
for
first
the
quarter.
Niners.
Yeah.
17-0 in the first quarter. The game felt when they got the 49ers cut it down to 17-6. I was like, okay, like now the game feels settled. The Niners are going to get a couple stops, and then we're going to play this like defensive battle back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But the Seahawks kept on scoring, right, and getting these turnovers, and so I think it was really the like getting like the Rashid Shaheed touchdown return.
Yeah,
it's like, could this be going any better?
Yeah,
this is the best start. It was perfect.
If I zoom out and say why the Seahawks won, certainly Mike McDonald is a big part of that. I don't know what percentage I would give it, but the other part is the Seahawks have better players. And this is where Niner fans get all upset because they point to week 1, which I went to that game where the Niners won. I'll remind everybody that Nick Emanwari was in his first game and left in the first quarter of that game, and he's a big part of the defense. Riq Woolen was nowhere near the player he is now. The Niners did have their full team, and Purdy threw a ball up in the end zone that Riq Woolen missed, and Tongus, the 7-Eleven mascot / 49ers tight end, made a touchdown catch that won the game. So, yeah, maybe the Niners play it closer if they have all their dudes. But they had Juwan Jennings. They had Ricky Pearsall back. They had Kittle in week 18, and they scored 3 points. They have Christian McCaffrey. So, for me, when Niner fans want to say, like, we're injured, we don't have this, wait till we get Trent Williams. And then they want to say, Christian McCaffrey is the best player in the world. Well, he can't be the best player in the world if he averages under 4 yards per carry and doesn't make an impact in the game. You can't have it both ways. You can't blame all the injuries and also say your dudes are awesome. So the dudes who played in this game, let's just put it that way. The dudes who played in this game were severely outmatched by the Seahawks players. The talent level gap is huge to go with the scheme of Mike McDonald. That's why the Seahawks won.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. And even if George Kittle is, if George Kittle's healthy, he's not worth 36 points.
He was worth 3 points in week 18. He was worth 3.
Yeah.
Right? They played with, they didn't have, I don't think they had Pearsall in that game, but they had Pearsall in this game. Ricky Pearsall's all excited, right? Zero catches in this game.
What I loved about having Tom Brady on the broadcast,
yes,
is that what he would say, you could honestly say, like, oh, he knows what he's talking about.
His credentials are insane.
So when he's talking, he doesn't overstate things too, which I appreciate. He's like, I played one game in Seattle, but here's what I remember and here's what it looks like. And there was confirmation when this happened was like, it is so loud, right? And he's just kind of in the booth, kind of just saying this, like, it is so ridiculously loud. Like, look at the huddle. Like, look at Purdy talk to his players and how like close knit, how like close they are to hear them. And then at the line, they're like doing hand signals and stuff. And it's legitimately like the Seahawks, the 12th man showed up, right?
Yeah.
Even though Pete Carroll didn't raise the flag, like getting Cam Chancellor to yell things in a microphone and then have Doug Baldwin just get the crowd pumped. Two great guys, like obviously not Pete Carroll or Marshawn Lynch, but we'll see who they bring out, who they roll out this coming week.
That's a good point, Kev. We can't
maybe
do that yet.
Yeah.
Doug Baldwin is cool. It was a good choice. Doug Baldwin was awesome. He's an awesome player.
Yeah.
He's not quite the Marshawn, Pete Carroll. My best friend Lewis was pissed at my Russell Wilson take last week. He's like, he would be booed. That's a terrible take. I was like, all right. I don't think he'd be booed, but that's another conversation. Here's one other reason going with scheme why the Seahawks won. They put this up in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you heard it, Kev, because that Brady comment about playing only once in Seattle, I heard as well. And I thought that was fascinating. Like, I didn't realize he had only played one game in Seattle. That's wild. He played a long career. But the other stat they put up had to do with quarterbacks, and it was Brock Purdy. And they said he had the longest time to throw some minimum amount of passes, right, of any quarterback in a game since 2016. Right? So he had so much time to throw. Usually that's a terrible thing. In this case, the Niners want to get the ball out quick, and it meant he had nowhere to throw. And obviously he only threw for 140 yards passing. He couldn't get anything downfield, no explosive plays. The Seahawks were so schemed up and so dominant, the Niners couldn't get separation. And all of their good beat writers and good people you can see on X have said that's their biggest need in the offseason is Jennings. They don't want to pay top dollar as a receiver for, but they want him back. They like Pearsall. Kittle won't even play in 2026 because it was Achilles. They need explosive offensive players. So
yeah, which they could get through the draft. They could make one signing.
They could totally do it. Yeah.
I think the tough part for them is like, of course, you fit one hole, you plug one hole, then there's other holes, and there's dead cap space with their speed racer.
Purdy's going to be a $70 million cap hit sometime soon.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like, give me Sam Darnold at 30. I think Purdy's really good, by the way. But that's, I mean, the Seahawks dominated him again.
Yeah.
He looked lost,
Here's the stat that I liked. The 49ers have scored fewer than 7 points in a game 4 times since Shanahan's hiring in 2017, including the playoffs. Yeah. 2 of those games have come in the last 3 weeks against the Seahawks.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
It's an
and I think that probably says more about Shanahan than McDonald at this point. But if McDonald starts to stack up these types of defensive performances against good offenses or good offensive coaches, then you're going to be coming around and saying, man, he's got to be one of the best coaches in the NFL. And I'm not like, I'm not getting ahead of myself because
no, he is one of the best coaches in the NFL.
The Seahawks got so lucky getting him. There are like 10 teams or 9 teams right now looking for a head coach. Imagine if they waited Pete Carroll out, right? And let him run its course, right?
Let's say the flip side, though. I would, let's say they're not lucky. They were good, right? So John Schneider, I'm going to give you this from Hawk Blogger. Because this relates to what I said before. They had more talent on both sides of the ball. This is the last 2 years. Hired Mike McDonald, probably the biggest decision. Traded for and then signed Leonard Williams. Signed Cooper Kupp, Jerron Reed, Josh Jobe, DeMarcus Lawrence, Sam Darnold. Awesome. Drafted Byron Murphy, Gray Zabel, Nick Emanwari, AJ Barner, Torrey Horton, who we forget was pretty good. Jalen Sundell was an undrafted free agent. He's our starting center. I saw a clip of him at center snapping the ball and pulling on one of Kenneth Walker's touchdowns. That was absolutely ridiculously awesome. And then traded for Ernest Jones and Rashid Shaheed. Like, that's a resume right there. That's team building. They've built a team, as we know. They're built for this year. I've been kind of reserved on this podcast. I feel like they're going to win the Super Bowl now, Kev. Like, the Rams are the hardest part. I can't wait to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl if the Seahawks can get by the Rams.
Or the Broncos.
They're not playing the
without a
Broncos.
quarterback.
It's going to be the Patriots. In fact, I just want to manifest it because I feel like it'll be, if it should happen, it'll be like a full circle therapeutic moment to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to jinx it right now. But man, the Super Bowl is going to happen 15 minutes away.
Oh, Kev, you
$6,000
right
to
there.
$8,000 to get in.
You got to go.
Oh,
You're a lawyer.
man.
You got to go. No offense. I'm not trying to like make you feel bad for having the funds to go to the Super Bowl, but you should do it.
It's actually an interesting hypothetical. Is it worth it to pay $8,000 to sit up in the nosebleeds or
probably
be at
not,
home?
to be honest. Probably
with the
not.
people I love and just watch it while it happens 15 minutes away. We could talk about it later.
No. It's an interesting question. Like, we can keep going with it because I've always thought the Super Bowl. So people went from Seattle that I knew. A lot of people went when it was in New York when they played the Broncos. I didn't know as many people who went to the next one. It was the first one since 2005 or whatever it was. And I think they said it was worth it, even though it was kind of cold but it was in New York. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth that much money to me. Now,
here's the other thing.
There's a guy who spent a lot of money on the Mariners tickets.
Yeah.
And it was totally worth it. So.
But that's a little different because I think that part of the little people on our shoulders that tell us, go, don't go. So the don't go person is like, the Seahawks are going to make the Super Bowl again. They have 3 times in my lifetime, possibly 4 times. Whereas the Mariners and the Huskies, like the Huskies, I went to the national championship. Like, I don't know if that's ever.
That was totally worth it, right?
Right, that was totally worth it. Even though they lost, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
The Mariners making it to the ALCS, that happened 1 time and 3 times in my lifetime. Really, 1 time it feels like in my lifetime. And so I think the Seahawks will make another Super Bowl after this in my lifetime. Probably 2 to 3 more times before I die, which sounds weird to say.
Kind of awesome to say. It's awesome to say.
Yeah. But I've had that amount of confidence in how the franchise is run. We've now seen the franchise go through 3 different coaches, make it to the NFC Championship, and then hopefully the Super Bowl if McDonald makes it happen, right? And so that just gives you confidence as long as now this is where the what if happens. Like if Jody Allen ends up selling the team, which I do believe she has the intention to do so, then actually I don't know, but I think I heard that they're trying to sell.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. That
although not
that could
anytime
change things,
soon,
right?
like at some point, but not soon is sort of the deal. That did they sell the Blazers or do they want to sell the Blazers? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
It's either one, but the Seahawks is kind of like eventually, but not right now. Yeah. I think
so. Do you agree with me that they'll like make the Super Bowl again, even if it's not this year? Like,
well, Kev,
in our
to
lifetime?
even build, I would go even more narrow. I'm pretty optimistic, as you said, with this regime. They have the 4th most salary cap room for this offseason. Like, that's silly. They have the 4th most room. What they'll do with it, who knows? And I mean, I could tell you right now, but we'll get into that in the offseason, the places I would like to see them spend it. But I think they're going to be in the mix for a few years. Like McDonald's, Brock, you retweeted this, and like I just really agree with it. And you've heard me on this podcast champion McDonald since last year for sure. You could just see it. Like he just schemes differently. He has culture. Guys like him, but not in a fake way. I mean, it's kind of like Pete. Like guys really liked Pete, but it's a totally different approach. I just, to your point, we're so lucky we got him. Even if they lose to the Rams, which honestly would suck, and it would be no shame. The Rams are awesome. Sean McVay is there anything
awesome. Before we move to preview? Is there anything else about this?
You just cut me off in the middle of talking about how awesome the Rams are. Was that on purpose?
I kind of just want to talk about how awesome this game was. If there's anything else to talk about,
no, that's fine. We can let's talk about 3 plays that won the game. How about that?
I mean, obviously the Rashid Shaheed kick return. I mean, I just think the story about how they haven't shown that look. Jay Harbaugh, who I forgot that they hired as a special teams coordinator, schemed up a play that got them 7 points. Like, awesome. Special teams aren't supposed to do that, right? Special teams is good when you don't notice it, right? Like when they just make field goals, make PATs, don't have turnovers on punt returns, kick returns. But when you can turn special teams into a strength like that, it's awesome. But you do need a game changing player like Rashid Shaheed. And when you're talking about all the moves that McDonald's making, I was like, man, he feels like the Josh Naylor for the Seahawks. Like they make a trade deadline trade and they get this dude that's actually legitimately impacting outcomes of games. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good call. I haven't heard much about the change in the play that they ran on the kick return. I would love to see like a breakdown of that after the season. That would be awesome. It's interesting, like the way special teams are now. I know Shaheed returned a punt for a touchdown against the Rams, and that was a big play. But there's just like no punt returns anymore. Every punter gets it so high that everybody just fair catches. Nobody really returns punts, but kick returns with the new rules are massively important. And almost everybody gets the ball to the 30, if not the 35. But Shaheed is so good that, you are always threat of going. And I feel like if he doesn't get to the 35, it's a major disappointment. And that's partly the blocking in the scheme too.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, you really have to kick it away from him. And that was the issue.
You can't with the new rules.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he has enough time to move around.
Well, you could if you want it to be a touchback and then they take it at the 35, right? You could do that, which people probably should. Maybe the Rams will, honestly, after what happened on last game and seeing this game, maybe they'll just kick to the 35 every time.
Yeah.
3 plays that won the game. I'll give it says the Leonard Williams sack I'll name on the 4th down play of Purdy. I mean, it's probably.
Did you think it? I was watching and I totally forgot it was 4th down.
I did not.
Like I don't know if that happened to you. I was like, wait, we got the ball back.
Yeah, I think it might have been. I might be too nervous. Like maybe the game was out of reach already, but it felt like that was like it's over.
Yeah.
So that was one for me. What's another one for you?
I think the Darnold touchdown at the start of the game again in the first quarter, because it was like, oh, the oblique is fine. Like he can throw a football.
Yeah.
And they had Shanahan in the post-game presser say, yeah, like we knew he'd be fine. He'd get a shot of Toradol. Well, weirdly enough, I've taken that too. I had a massive migraine just at the start of last January. I think it was like stress-induced, like work-related. Wouldn't go away. And it's not fun when you have like an infant to take care of. And I'm complaining about my migraine to Christine. And Christine's like, I've had a migraine like this entire time. Like, you are such a wuss, whatever. We go to
amazing.
We go to urgent care, and I walk in there and I'm like, this is horrible. And they're like, well, we can give you this thing that'll make the pain go away, but we can only give it to you once, and then I'll write you a prescription. And they gave me that stuff, and I was up and ready to go. Like I was doing dishes. I was like, what do you want me to do next? I will take the baby. You can go take a nap. She was like, wow. What? Like that stuff is real. So
it's so weird that Shanahan said that in the press conference. Like, what does he know? Unless he knows like Darnold loves this stuff. Because
but that's it's probably common enough where they.
It was a weird comment. I don't care. Yeah. It was weird. A couple other plays I think probably we should highlight that are probably more important than the Leonard Williams sack. I was just looking through the play-by-play. It just felt so big because it like destroyed all hope for them. I'm trying to see if that was that was the start of the second half. So that was a big deal because it was 24-6. But let's go earlier. The 4th down play where Juszczyk got it and then did a option play like it was 1988 Notre Dame with Tony Rice. You don't even know that reference.
Or the Notre Dame post that you sent me.
Well, yeah, Notre Dame used to just run. No, I said that. I didn't post it. It wasn't posted. I didn't steal it from somebody. That was my own analysis.
I'm talking about
the post is amazing. We'll get to that in a second because it was my favorite. But Shanahan, there's a whole thing with it, right? Niners fans are still saying that the Seahawks shouldn't have gotten the timeout. If you watch the replay along the end, McDonald calls the timeout before the play snapped. It's the ref's fault for letting the play run to the point that the Niners were like, we can't run that play again to get the first down. And then they came out with what do we call it, Kev? What happened? It's the worst
short option,
short side option play in Lumen Field history, taking over for Jed Fish's Apple Cup. So good. Yeah, that was a great play. It was a terrible play call. My buddy who's a Niners fan was like, what was that? It was awesome. So that one, and then the Tongas fumble, which was right after that one. The Seahawks were up 10-0. I did see something at that point. The Niners were averaging more yards per play at that point. It didn't really feel like they were in control, but they had a couple good plays, and Tongas fumbled, and that we went down and scored on the Darnold touchdown you talked about. It made it 17-0. So I feel like those plays, and that was a great play by Ernest Jones. Awesome strip.
Yeah, it's strip
so good.
For McCaffrey, too. You're like...
No. It was Tongas, the tight
end. Oh, it was Tongas? Okay.
Yeah. You understand that I'm calling him Tongas, the 7-Eleven mascot, because there was that AM/PM. It's AM/PM. Have you seen those AM/PM commercials?
No, man.
Dude, there's these AM/PM commercials. There's plenty of listeners who have seen it. And there's this giant mascot who's like, it kind of looks like Bowie, but all the stuff on him is
Kraken mascot.
Yeah, all the stuff on him is AM/PM stuff. So like hot dogs and pepperoni sticks and whatever. Just will you please look up AM/PM mascot so you can see what this is while we're talking?
Yeah.
So you can visualize this. Okay. And so and he would just go into AM/PMs. They had a whole ad campaign and he'd just be like, Tongas. That's all he would say. Like
Tungus.
We're going Tongas
whose
because
name is acronym for too much good stuff. Sounds like the Seahawks.
Yeah. Except for it sounds exactly like the 49ers tight end, Tongas, who fumbled the ball. I did not come up with that. I saw that on X, and
that's
it's
pretty
awesome.
Hilarious.
So the AM/PM mascot Tongas fumbled the ball. That was a big play. Give me one more big play for you.
God, really? I have to come up with another big play?
Yes, Kev. That's what we do. We have a podcast. This is what we do. We talk about the game. You have big plays.
I don't know, man. I don't have anything else. I mean, that's what stood out to me without watching the game over again.
All right, I'll flip it for you.
Yeah.
Give me your player of the game
then. Dude, it's got to be Ken Walker the third.
He's so good. He's so good.
Right? Like Charbonnet gets injured, so then now he's taking most of the load. And it's so weird because you made us go through that question last week, or just less than a week ago.
My brother-in-law James watching that game.
James was complaining that
probably
Charbonnet gets all the touches in the end zone, and then Walker scores 3 of them. Like 2 of them were in kind of goal line territory.
He was awesome.
He was poor awesome. Brother-in-law, and other people feel the same way. Like no one knows why Charbonnet just always gets the ball down there, and like
Ken Walker was great.
Now it's like, okay, now when Charbonnet goes back in, like assuming he can play for the next game, yeah, which I have no idea. But then it's like, oh my god, now that maybe teams have already known this, but like the Seahawks have 2 weapons on the ground now. And just when you lock those guys up, well, then you have Darnold just slinging it to JSN or whoever. So I feel good about the offense.
Speaking of Seahawks on the ground, I think, and I'm not going to have this exactly right unless I can find it really quick, but the Seahawks have over 160 rushing yards 4 games in a row. And I think if I can find this, I think Softy tweeted it out. So I'm trying to find it here. It's like the first time in history since like the 80s or something they've done this. Wow, this is really good podcast content by me. Here we go. I found it. Seahawks have rushed for at least 160 yards in 4 straight games. Sorry, that's happened only twice previously in franchise history. Last time was 2018, so not quite as dramatic as I made it sound. But only twice in the history have they done this. So This leads me to my last question, kind of about this game and the reaction. So the Seahawks have a historically good defense. They have a running game that's done something only twice in the history of their franchise by running for 160 games, 4 games in a row. They have the leading receiver in the NFL. And yet it feels like no one in the national media thinks they're any good. Am I crazy, or do you think the same thing? Are you hearing and reading the same thing?
It's the same thing. Like there's evidence of this. So if you look at so the Seahawks have the best defense, right, in the league, undisputed. And I don't think any of the national media disputes that, right? But if you look at the all-pro team for the NFL as voted on by the media, there's not one Seahawk on the first team.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I think
yeah,
you're wrong to that point. I think there is national media who think like the Texans defense is better, or the Broncos, or even the Patriots at this point. They get excited like in the game. The commentators are great at talking about how good this game put them on the map, blah blah blah. But then the conversation is never about the Seahawks. It's about how lame the Super Bowl is going to be, or how whatever. Josh Allen, I watched SportsCenter that night, and Josh Allen not being good leads SportsCenter. Maybe that makes sense. It is an interesting story that the 1 year he doesn't have to beat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow, he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
But the Seahawks are doing things in a way that should be getting attention, even if they don't go win the Super Bowl. At this point, going in the championship games, they just beat a team 41-6 who beat the defending champs the week before on the road.
Yeah.
But the narrative just shifts to, they weren't full strength. But the week before, they beat the defending champs. What are we doing? Can we just talk about the Seahawks being awesome and beating a team by 35 points?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to give you something right now. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to list off.
Am I going to be mad or am I going to be happy?
No, you're going to be happy about this.
Okay.
Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Kirk Cousins, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence. Do you know what they all have in common? All of them have not made it to the NFC Championship game. Sam Darnold has.
By winning one playoff game. His first in his career.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's some Dak Prescott.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually, because, how many of those guys would be ranked by national media above Sam Darnold? Because that comes down to why the Seahawks don't get the credit. Everyone's waiting for Sam Darnold to turn into a pumpkin, and maybe he will. Right? Maybe he will.
Will it matter if he turns into a pumpkin? Because he was 12 for 17 and really wasn't he was good enough, but the defense controlled the game, and then they had the run game going. He didn't need to be a factor. Right. You could have subbed in.
He did make
Drew Lock earlier and would have been fine.
I would say
I guess
this is what I was going to talk about later. He made a couple throws that are undervalued. He made a throw to Jake Bobo on a third down. That was an absolute dime. It was Bobo's third catch of the year. So awesome. He made a throw to Cooper Kupp that was phenomenal.
I remember that one.
And his throw to JSN for the touchdown was awesome. So, yeah, they didn't. He's 12 for 17. What are you going to do? Get on here and tell he was the MVP of the game? No, but Drew Lock's not making those throws. Sam Darnold's good. He might not be good next game. That's possible. But he's the guy to run this thing for however many years we want to run this thing. It's like the Mariners with Cal Raleigh and Julio. We got dudes now, and we should feel like every year we got a shot, and that's awesome.
I almost feel like Sam Darnold has a higher ceiling than Matt Hasselbeck. I feel like Sam Darnold could throw a bomb or go off for 400 yards. Matt Hasselbeck, I never felt was going to do that, and if he did, it was going to be completely out of character.
It is a good comparison, though. If Matt Hasselbeck in his prime was the quarterback of this team with this defense, it'd be very similar to kind of a Sam Darnold-y type. Hasselbeck was good. He was really good.
Yeah, Hasselbeck was solid, but that wasn't the bread and butter. The bread and butter was hand off the ball to Sean Alexander behind Steve Hutchinson, Walter Jones, and
Yeah,
Robbie
but you just
Tobeck.
said that's what Darnold's bread and butter was in this playoff game, right? They handed off to Ken
Yeah,
Walker. So I
yeah.
don't know. I think it's an interesting comparison. Neither one. People can hate all they want. Russ in his prime was the dude. Okay. Apparently, I'm the Russ defender now. So whatever. But like, Russ was a different level than these guys in his prime.
Russ could win. Like Russ could win a game you weren't supposed to win.
100%
I
until he got
don't
to
think
the goal
Sam
line
Darnold.
of the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
yeah,
But he did win games.
yeah.
He was absolutely terrible in the NFC Championship game against the Packers, and then he was awesome. So, actually, now that I think about it, maybe Russ in the big games wasn't as good as I'm remembering, and I think we need to explore that a little bit. But we'll save that for next week if the Seahawks go to the Super Bowl.
So the odds are out
Yep. Let's move to
for.
the Rams preview.
Yep, the Seahawks have opened up as 2.5 favorites on BetMGM. It's a tight spread. Usually starts tight like this, might move a little bit. I just watched the Rams. I don't know if you had a chance to watch
Oh, I
them.
watched it.
2.5. Do you think it's too high, too low? Where are you on that?
I think it totally
spread?
makes sense. If I had to guess, I would have said 2.5 because they used to give 3 to the home team, and now it's always 2.5. That's the new NFL bookies and odds makers. So that just means they're even on a neutral field. So they're giving the Seahawks 2.5 because they're at home. I have a feeling that's going to move in the Seahawks' favor this week because of how they've played. But I don't know. If I was a Rams fan, I would bet on the Rams money line for sure. I mean, the Rams, I think I have this right. In their last game, the Rams set the record for most yards against the Seahawks in Seahawks franchise history.
Yeah, and the Seahawks defense is its strength, and the Rams put. I think your point is the Rams can move the ball against this defense. And I don't think that's going to be any different this next game. So I think it's just going to be tight.
Yeah, it's the Rams was the most games. I'm pretty sure this is correct. The most yards the Seahawks have allowed in a single game in franchise history. Let me make sure that's correct, but either way, it's like it was an enormous amount, right?
Yeah.
It's the most they've allowed under Mike McDonald. They had their dudes, and they weren't missing guys. So the Rams did what they wanted in that game, and the Seahawks had a ridiculous comeback. If you're a Rams fan, you have every reason to think you can go win this game. Counter to that is, since that game, the Rams have not looked good. Obviously, in the NFC Championship game. But they beat the Panthers, and it wasn't great. And they beat the Bears, who I would love for the Seahawks to play. I mean, I think the Seahawks would have opened as a 6.5 point favorite, 5.5 against the Bears. So the Seahawks have played much better since then, and the Rams have not. Does that mean anything? Will Sam Darnold have another terrible game against the Rams? Will Puka Nacua absolutely dominate us like he seems to do? I don't know. It's a fascinating matchup. Rams are really good. How are you feeling?
I love that the game's at home. I mean, it makes things difficult. I don't think it's going to affect Stafford. I think Stafford has so much experience at this point. And I think that's one of the X factors for the Rams is that, like, if it does come down to a last drive type of thing and the Rams have the ball, like, I'm not feeling good as a Seahawks fan, even with home field advantage.
Totally.
Like,
yeah.
I know Stafford isn't Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes or anything like that, but he's not, like, he's one of the top quarterbacks and he's led his team this far, right?
Yeah.
Like being on
He's
the road is not going to impact him that much.
Yeah, he's probably going to win the MVP this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also a cool thing. If the Seahawks can beat Stafford and then beat Drake May in the Super Bowl, they'll beat the 1 and 2 in the MVP race. That's kind of awesome. I think the keys, the Seahawks have to run the ball against the Rams. And then they have to find a way to make Stafford uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
hopefully they can do that with 4 so that they can kind of shade Nakua and not let him do it. But McVay finds all kinds of ways to get tight ends open and backs open, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting matchup between those two coaches.
They've made it this far. It's kind of like, it's like the Mariners and Blue Jays. I mean, you make it this far, the other team you're playing is going to be really good.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the fact of life, unless there's some catastrophic injury like the Denver Broncos. I mean, you're playing a full strength team, right? Like, this is not the Niners this time around. Everyone's healthy on their side. They were supposed to beat us last time these two teams played without some last minute heroics from Darnold, right? Like, to Darnold's credit, though, he even though despite that bad game, he had I think it was the game-winning drive, right? So
yeah, he was good.
It's going to be great.
He was good.
Yeah, and when you have games like this, and history has shown, and me and you both have taught history before, NFC Championship games in Seattle, this is why you need home field advantage. That could be a factor. And I know I'm contradicting myself where I just said that it won't phase Stafford, but Stafford will make a mistake. The Rams will make a mistake. There will be turnovers in this game, and those turnovers will just feel more impactful because there's going to be people yelling really loudly. It sounds stupid, but this was what Tom Brady was saying the whole game. He's like, this shifts momentum. You have momentum shifts, and it just totally takes a lot out of you. And mentally, as a team, you have to be tough to get back from that. And that's something that if you're at home, you don't have to worry about, right?
It probably helps our defense, right? Whoever's on defense to have, when you're tired and you're sore and it's week, whatever, 20 for you, 21, and you need that juice, it helps you get that juice, right? That's got to be part of it. Obviously you're trying to get false starts, but that's not really, teams are so good now. Like the old Seahawks getting a bunch of false starts, not going to happen. Not going to happen with Stafford.
Yeah.
But you're right. Hopefully, and it'll just be fun. It's more fun to watch a game where your team has the loud crowd noise. It's so fun compared to not having it.
It's one storyline that never gets old for me, of them talking how loud it is in Seattle and how there's earthquakes when big things happen.
Yeah.
So here's the nice thing. They rested their starters with 9 minutes to go in this game. Darnold has time to recover and only get better, right? If he needs another shot of meds before this game,
shoot him up with whatever.
Shoot him up,
offense,
right?
Yeah.
And hopefully Charbonnet gets better. But I'm not feeling horrible if Ken Walker, has to shoulder the load. Any final thoughts on the Rams, Seahawks?
I'm going to predict the Seahawks are going to win.
Okay.
And I think the Seahawks will win 27-21.
Okay.
What do you got?
I think they'll win 24-18, and I think they'll get a pick 6 in the second quarter. How's that?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. This podcast, a previous version of it, did once predict that the Seahawks would beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl and Peyton Manning would have 2 interceptions. But this podcast also predicted once that Matt Flynn would be the starting quarterback. Well, one of us did.
Yeah.
And the other one said Russell Wilson.
Predicted Russell Wilson. Yeah. That's how old this podcast is.
That's true. That's weird. That's weird, actually. Nobody knows that. There's 2 people that know that. Can we do a lightning round where I'm going to play a game with you?
Sure.
As we segue away from the Seahawks for just a quick second. All right, I'm going to play a game called Competitive and Relevant, Competitive and Not Relevant, Not Competitive and Not Relevant. You don't want to be not competitive and not relevant, okay? Could you type louder in my ears while you do that? Thanks, appreciate that. Husky men's basketball, competitive and relevant, competitive and not relevant, not competitive and not relevant.
Not I guess competitive.
What'd you say? Not competitive?
Not competitive.
And not relevant then, right?
Yeah, not relevant, man.
I'd counter you.
Toast.
I'm saying competitive and not relevant.
Okay.
They're clearly not relevant. I feel like they competed against Michigan and Michigan State this week. Those are two really, really good teams, and they were in the game. Yeah, they were in the games. Like the Michigan State score and Michigan score looks bigger, but Michigan was a 6-point game down the stretch. Michigan State was within 10 for a long time. I mean, that's competitive, I guess. I don't know. Maybe we should ask Desmond Claude. Okay.
It's weird that the Huskies haven't said anything about it. I feel like there's some
he
conflict.
Instagrammed.
Yeah, there's something fishy.
I agree, and I will leave it at that. Husky women's basketball. Competitive and relevant, competitive and not relevant, not competitive and not relevant, whatever the other option is.
Competitive and relevant.
Totally.
Especially if it's a home game, because they beat good teams at home, and they don't just beat them, they beat them pretty convincingly. Like I watched this past game against Minnesota, who has a net rank like 15, even
very good, Kev. Look at you doing a little research.
Like, the Huskies are net rank.
Can we pause for a sec? 15 net rank is obviously ridiculously high.
That's a quad one, right? That's quad one.
Yeah, I don't know if
top 16.
Is that how they do the quad? I don't know what the quad number is because I don't know how many total teams there are, so I don't know. I'm assuming if top 15 would be a quad one, but does it remain a quad one if Minnesota becomes 40th in net rank? Probably not, right? Do they change those?
God. Quad
do you know
one,
what I'm saying?
Yeah, so quad one are any home games against 1 through 30, any neutral games, any 1 through 15, any away games 1 through 75. So wins.
Oh, interesting.
So that is a quad one win because it's a top 30 at home.
Does it move to a quad two win if they later on are not good, or does it go in as a quad one win because at the time
of the game? At the time.
Oh, good for them. Okay. Yeah. Minnesota didn't look like that great of a team, but I think it's because of the Huskies played. They played them really well. Minnesota is a great defense. The Minnesota, the Purdue, which they lost to, the Indiana's not very good. I shouldn't put them in the same category. Oregon, Minnesota, Wisconsin, these teams like the Huskies that aren't ranked or almost ranked, but probably are tournament teams, those are big wins. Obviously, the Huskies beat Michigan at home. They did not beat Michigan State. They've got Penn State and Rutgers next, which is really helpful. They got to win both of those and get a little momentum, and then they have a stretch of ranked teams. But yeah, the Husky women are competitive and relevant for sure. How about go ahead.
So if I'm a Big Ten team, I don't want to play the Huskies. Like
not at Washington, not at
Seattle. Washington for sure, but also like on the road, like they just have so many players that you have to account for. These players, and this is the difference between the women's team and the men's team, and we've said this a couple times, but like, and part of it's continuity. Like the men's team, all new players, basically, right? This women's team, they bring in a couple transfers, but the core is from last year, right?
Yeah, and
Sellers, Ladine, right?
You're right.
And a couple of people off of the bench that are now getting more minutes. Like they're all part of the party last year. And these players just go out and like they know what they're supposed to do. Like there's no question about it. And it's just a matter of execution.
I would also say they buy into role really well. So like Grabaskaya, that's my best bet. The 6'5" big from Michigan. She's so much better than she was at the start of the year. She just plays her role. Bryn Magoo. Dang it. Sorry, Bryn. The freshmen, right? They just play their role, and it's not really an ego thing. They know what they're doing. They have so many players like Chloe Briggs and Hannah Steins who have no ego and just play their role. And the men's team is like, it's like a fantasy team where you're just trying to throw guys together. In fact, they're still adding guys, or guys are coming back from being injured, and then Claude leaves. I mean, they have no continuity, to your point. They still, like, Zoom's having a great year. Mandequit was so good against Michigan, Kev. It was awesome to watch. Like, so good, so confident. So you have all these, like, bright spots, but then you got to think, are they all going to be gone next year? Like, it's a bummer. All right. Kev, have you watched any hockey this week?
No, but I thought about watching it.
Okay, that's a good start.
I wore a Kraken hat today, and Christine said, oh, who did the Kraken play today? And I'm like,
Christine. She's so on my side. This is so great. I love it. They didn't play today, though. But do you think they are competitive and relevant, competitive and not relevant? Where do you put the Kraken?
well, I listened to the podcast last week and it sounds competitive and relevant. And
You just
people
listen to me
comment.
talk about the
Yeah,
Kraken.
people comment our posts and like feel the same way.
I mean, they have to be relevant if they're in a playoff spot, right?
Yep.
Does their negative 11 goal differential mean they're not relevant? I mean, not competitive. Here's the thing. The San Jose Sharks have the second wild card and they have a negative 20. Everybody below them also has a negative goal differential. So it's not like the Kraken are in a bad spot with that. They have lost 2 in a row since our podcast. They're competitive and relevant, which is good. They need to stay competitive and they need to stay relevant. That's the big key.
Yeah.
Can
Top 5?
Can I? Yeah. Before we do top 5, can I just rant a little bit? I
Here we
ranted
go.
on this last time. Do you remember when I talked about the rain tickets?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me lay this out one more time, and I want you to just listen and give me your response. Okay. So I renewed. We have 2 tickets to the Seattle Rain. We got our tickets, and it's probably $130 more than 2025, right? Normal sort of inflation, whatever, right? But about the same cost. That seems really good. They then send an email as a total surprise. There's no lead up to this whatsoever. And the email says, exciting news for those in the east side of the state. The Rain will play 3 matches in Spokane. And then as you get the email from your ticket rep and whoever else, it says they're going to play 3 regular season home matches in Spokane because of, I think it's they're putting in the grass for the World Cup and they need time. And so my natural reaction was, wait, what do we get for this? And they said, just wait. In the next 2 weeks, season ticket members will hear exciting things. So I'll reserve judgment a little bit.
Wait, you did rant about this last week.
Yeah, I'll reserve judgment a little bit. But since I did that rant, Kev, we have some friends who also have tickets.
Yeah.
If you go on the Instagram when they did the schedule release, it's all season ticket holders. And there's a lot of people I know who sit in our section who are just like, what is this? This is a joke. Where's my money? So I wasn't alone, which made me feel good. And I want to say on a Seattle sports podcast that matters, I think, to a certain extent. Rain, you got to do something about this. You got to make this right. And maybe you are. Maybe that's what's coming the next 2 weeks. But if you try to tell me I get a new scarf or I have access to Spokane tickets, which was part of their selling point, nah, that's not it. You can't charge me the same amount of money for 3 less home matches against good opponents. That's the thing. Some of the real fans like pointed out, the true fans are like, these are great opponents and we don't get to see them unless we want to drive to Spokane. Hey, Rain, are you paying for my gas? Like, what's happening here?
So I got to tell you this. After we record, when I'm doing when I'm clipping, right? The AI does the clips, and now the software assigns scores about like how viral the clip will go.
Oh,
so your rant last week about this got a 99, and
you didn't post it.
Something told me not to post it, and I'm like, because when we've posted negative things, it's gotten no traction unless it's about unless it's something our core audience, and maybe I don't know what our core audience is, but TikTok nuked our rant about television ratings. I think it was when we were complaining about ESPN. TikTok nuked it. Like there were no views on it. Crazy, right?
Interesting.
So, but I don't think this is the same. I don't think the same overlords are controlling the Rain.
The Paramount Plus overlords are coming.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Also, Paramount Plus doesn't care. They don't care if the game's in Spokane or wherever. They're just looking for television ratings.
So
the overlord would be whoever the owner of this team is, I guess. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, or we'll get like a cease and desist from their their attorneys in our inbox tomorrow morning.
For what?
Who
This
knows?
is all true. This is all thing. There's absolutely nothing I made up. It is all true. I encourage everyone to go to the Instagram account for the Reign and see the post about their schedule and see people's reaction. And for a team that's all about building community and is trying to build their fan base, this is a bad look. That's all.
Yeah.
All right. Top 5.
Top 5.
What do you got for me?
Top 5 all-time playoff passing yards, receiving yards, or rushing yards. Which one do you want?
Every team ever?
Every team ever.
Boy. Let's go passing yards. Why not?
Let's do it.
Okay. I think we found a nice sweet spot last week. I think you need to give me like some clues. So either year or team.
Okay. NFL passing yards all time. All
Single season in a playoff game.
No. All-time passing yards career.
But you don't have to give any clues yet.
All right.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, number 1, 13,000. The next person after him has 5,000 less.
This is tricky. I mean, so let me talk to you through my process. Joe Montana is what came to mind right away because he was in the playoffs so much, but he didn't throw that much. But I'm going to go Joe Montana. He's got to be in the top 5.
Nope, he's number 7.
Get out of here. He's what? What did you say?
Number 7 behind 2 active players.
Unbelievable. So Mahomes?
Mahomes is number 6.
Oh my God. I am so bad at top 5s.
Mahomes is number 6. So there's one more.
Tell me the teams then. Go number 2. Who's the team?
Played for 2 teams.
Okay.
The Colts.
Tell me who they are.
Oh,
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. Okay, that would have been easy.
Number 2.
Okay.
Number 3 is an active player.
Tell me who the team is.
2 teams. Packers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, number 3.
Yeah.
Number 4. Played for 1 team. His head coach stepped down. Not an active player anymore.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes, number 4. And number 5 has some shady thing happening in Mississippi.
Brett Favre.
Yes.
All right, I like the clues. I'm so good with the clues.
I mean, where do you think Russell Wilson is all time?
Oh, that's a good question. So Mahomes is 6 and Montana's 7. Russ went to about in playoff games, maybe more. Let's go 13.
11. It goes Montana, wow. Breeze, Elway, Marino, Wilson. And Wilson may be like the tier, like the end of the start of the second tier. Because after Wilson goes Kurt Warner, Josh Allen, Jim Kelly, Troy Aikman. But before that, you're like Marino, Elway, Breeze, Montana, Mahomes, and then the top 5 we just named. So
it's incredible.
Like if Wilson makes another playoff game, he might pass Marino. Like he only needs 500 yards.
Wait, who needs? If
Wilson needs to make,
if Wilson makes another playoff game,
Wilson
how's that
needs
going to happen?
I don't know. That going to happen? I have no idea.
Where's that going to occur? I don't think that's going to happen, Kev. So I think he's stuck where he is.
He'll make another playoff game. He'll be raising the 12th man flag this week.
Maybe. I go in a lot of different directions here, Kev. This will be a fun one. Let's do this just for fun. NFC Championship game appearances. Ready? Do you want to do just most wins overall in the NFC Championship game?
Sure.
Wait, is this right?
But I don't know who's in the NFC and who's the AFC. That's hard.
I know. It's hard. But this doesn't seem like it makes sense. So I got to double check this. Is this right? I think this is right. My kids are absolutely just screaming while playing video games downstairs. I don't know if anyone can hear it, but it's bananas. 3-day weekend, finals week.
No structure, man.
No structure. No, and I'm not providing it, clearly. Okay. I think this is this is right here, Kev. This seems like a lot, but from 1970 to present, this seems right. Okay, number of wins, NFC Championship game. So I guess this would be Super Bowl appearances to a certain extent.
Players?
No,
Or
teams.
teams. Packers?
No. They have 3. They're 3-6 in the NFC Championship game, if I'm looking at the right thing here. One you should totally get, Kev.
Patriots. No, they're in the NFC.
NFC. My God, this is worse than my performance.
The Chiefs. They're in the AFC too.
Oh my goodness. Kevin, just think of a team who went to so many Super Bowls.
The Niners?
Yes, they have 8 wins, which means they've been to the Super Bowl 8 times since 1970. Is that insane?
Like one time in the past 30 years.
No, Kev. They went in 2023.
Oh, but they've won one in the past 30
And they went
years.
in 2019.
Yeah.
They haven't won the Super Bowl. They lost to us in 2013. They went in 2012. They lost again. Right? They just haven't won one since a long time ago. But yeah. So Niners. Who else do you got? You have 1 strike. Actually, you almost have 2 strikes, but go ahead. Yes, Packers, you're wrong. Niners.
I keep on wanting to say like something really stupid. The Eagles.
The Eagles are in the top 5. Yeah. They're not tied with the Niners. There's a team tied. The Eagles are 5-4 in NFC Championship games.
The Cowboys.
They are 8-6. 8 Super Bowls also, which is crazy. So there are. You're typing. That means you're Googling.
I'm Googling NFC teams. Is that cheating?
It's fine.
Okay.
There are 4 teams with 5 wins in the NFC Championship games. The Eagles are one of them, which seems weird. Do the Eagles really go to 5 Super Bowls? Doesn't seem right, does it?
Yeah.
Let's see.
So
1980, they won. Then they lost in 2001, 2002, 2003. My God. And 4.
Okay, I think I know for sure.
2008, 2017, 2022, 2024. This doesn't seem right. It doesn't add up to 5. I'm so confused right now. Go ahead.
The Bears.
No. What? The Bears are 2-3. The Rams. The Commanders. And the New York Giants are 5-0. Do you know what the Seahawks are?
Lost 1 NFC Championship.
No, they're 3-0 in the NFC Championship. All 3 times they've gone to the Super Bowl. All 3 times they've been the number 1 seed.
What a way
to
end the podcast, to transition us to.
We can't totally end
next week.
I need to talk to you really quick about the Winter Olympics before we go.
God, we might have an Olympic guest.
This is real, people. We got DM'd by an Olympian, no lie, a current Olympian who said they would come on the pod.
We'll try to make it happen.
We're going to make it happen, Kev.
Yeah.
I want to tell you a little preview because your sister was so excited about our Olympics coverage. Kev, how many new events do you think we have?
10.
No, you're terrible at this. Ski mountaineering is new this year.
Just 1?
Yep. Yes.
Oh, God.
You climb up a mountain with your skis and then you go down it. Ski mountaineering seems cool.
How does that not already an Olympic sport?
Well, mostly it's just going down. This one, you also have to go up. So that's new. There are new events. There are 7 new events, but they're within the same sport. So,
understood.
Yeah, we got some new moguls and luge things and all kinds of stuff. Before we go, what's your excitement? You're on parental leave, am I right?
No, I actually go back to work in 2 weeks.
Ooh, right during the Olympics, Kev?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
Christine's
going to
gonna
change
enjoy
this
it without
question.
me.
It's
Yeah.
going to change this question. What's your excitement level 1 to 10 for the Winter Olympics? Knowing that we might have a guest on soon.
It goes from a 6 to a 7 because if we
Ooh.
do have that guest, I'll watch all of the events.
Okay, that's fair.
All of everything.
7's a good number. Summer I get more excited about.
By the way, where are the Winter Olympics?
Italy.
Italy. Where in Italy, do you know?
It's like yes, I do. Carina,
or is it all over?
No, Carina / I want to say. It's like 2 cities hosting it. Milano, sorry, like the cookie. Cortina.
I was just thinking of that.
I was so close. Milano Cortina is what it's called, which is actually Milan is the city. It's just they threw the Italian spice in there for us. So yeah, Milan, and it's great. It's very exciting. It's not like the Summer Olympics where then they just put surfing in a totally different part of the world, and then Colin Jost goes and hosts it, and then gets like a terrible bacteria. You remember that from the Summer Olympics last time? That was amazing. I can't wait for the Olympics. They're exciting. I don't like that they start the same weekend as the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's kind of a buzzkill. So are you at like an 8 or a 7? What are you?
Yeah, 7 on to 8, and because I found a guy on Reddit who I now am sharing his Google Doc with all the times of all the events, my excitement went up a little bit. I'll just say, if you're excited to see who our guest is on the day of the Super Bowl, there's a lot of curling you could watch. Just throw it out there.
All right, I got to get back to him so he doesn't big time us.
We're doing it next. I will.
Yeah.
I will.
We'll see everyone next week.
Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl next week, and we have an Olympian. What? Okay. Whew.
This podcast is taking us to places I've never thought possible.
Amazing.
My goodness. All right.
See you next week.
See everyone next week.